What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew, that's Scott, and this is one heck of a show today, Scott. We got some good stuff happening where people can join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, it is up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, Call of Duty will let players drop nukes in Warzone 2 later this week. Nintendo admits backwards compatibility is easier than ever, but just doesn't really care. And Apple is working on an AR VR headset that will be the most expensive headset yet. Yikes.
Ooh, are they throwing their hat into the arena now?
They certainly are, and it's coming at a hefty price tag for that arena. Wow, dude, I did not yeah, well, cool. Let's get going because we got a lot to talk about today. Call of Duty Warzone 2 will let players drop a nuke on the map. Really? This comes from Mark over comicbook.com. When Call of Duty 2 releases this week, players will apparently have the opportunity to drop a nuke on the map, wiping out a huge chunk of their opponents in one fell swoop. Activision has not officially shared information on this option, but Gaming Bible is reporting that it will be, quote, extremely difficult to pull off, end quote. The good news for fans, as it won't mean that nukes will be a common sight in the game. Thank goodness. Can you imagine Scott just being in the middle of your match and getting wiped?
If it happens too often, that's just going to kill the game out.
Absolutely. But it will still make an exciting option. Thankfully, fans should know a lot more about it in the coming days. Call of Duty Warzone 2 is a highly anticipated sequel to Warzone, set to release on November 16th. Lots going on, dude. Raid is coming, Scott. I'm so excited for that. And the DMZ mode I want to check out as well. What are your thoughts on the nuke and Warzone 2?
Oh, Warzone 2, I'm very excited for because I spent a lot of time, well, in and out of Warzone 1, and that's predominantly my battle royale, so I can't wait to get back in. But
right,
the idea of a nuke strike is exciting but worrisome because it's such a big event, but how do you make it hard to do but not impossible? I hope they can find the right balance there.
It's going to be something that happens like on a rare occasion, I would think. You can't be just dropping it every other round or something like that and getting wiped clean. There's got to be some kind of high value that has to get, like, I don't know if everybody should be able to achieve it. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
There's got to be something that you have to pull off that's going to be so difficult that if you do it, it does, wow, we actually dropped the nuke on the map. We are one of a select few who are able to kind of accomplish this little mission and stuff like that. Yo, let's go, Brad is right. Northern Nerdcast joins us live over on Twitch.
I bet it's going to work a lot like the zombies kind of Easter eggs do, where you go to this corner, you pick up this item, bring it over here, drop it here, use the key card to open this. Yeah. And just task after task after task. That's the only way I could see it working very well.
It's going to be almost like you think it'd be more like almost like a mini raid puzzle kind of thing set up within the Warzone map, while not only trying to achieve this puzzle, but then fight off everybody else that you're up against.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how they'll do it. Different map locations.
Yeah. No, it should be interesting. I'm really curious. More details will be coming here shortly. But yeah, we'll find out more about that and see if we get our hands on it on the 16th. Will you think a nuke gets dropped in the first day?
Oh, somebody will figure it out. Yeah. I would not be terribly surprised.
No, it's amazing what some of these gamers can pull off, Scott. Dude,
well, someone out there somewhere has probably examined it and figured it out, reverse engineered the options already.
Probably, yeah. Leaked information is one thing. Before, actually, off the top of the show, I meant to mention our review of Pentiment is up. You can check it out over on the YouTube channel as well as inside the game.ca later today. So, Scott, it's ready to go. It's live. You want to talk about it quickly, or you want to move on to the next topic?
Oh, well, there's a little to say about it without getting into a whole lot. So maybe it's better if we avoid.
Yeah, you can avoid it just like I did.
It's a unique title.
Actually, I saw some people talk about how it took them forever to get into it, but they actually got into it, and it was just one that I couldn't get into. It's one of those things, but yeah, whatever. Go check out our review. You'll hear my impressions. You'll hear Scott's, and then yeah, there's an interesting game. Unique, very unique title. But Scott, you ready for this one? Nintendo admits backwards compatibility is easier now, but isn't interested in it. Man, like, what do you want me to say about that? Shocked? Are you shocked? Because I'm not shocked at all.
No, this is exactly what the fans want, and it's took a long time for Nintendo to say maybe, but no.
Oh man, like, yeah, this comes from OSN over at VG 24/7. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, recently spoke about how backwards compatibility. Scott, I nailed it, didn't I?
Yeah,
I should know that name though from this industry. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. If you can get Shuhei Yoshida, you should be able
to. yeah. No, I should. Yeah, I should nail that. Either way, though, it doesn't seem like something Nintendo is interested in. In a recent Q&A session that followed Nintendo's publication of its latest financial results, company executives were asked about how backwards compatibility is being handled internally. Thanks to and translations from VGC, Miyamoto apparently didn't give an answer that pointed in any particular direction when it comes to backwards compatibility, but did talk about how it's easier these days. Quote, in the past, we provided a service known as a virtual console that allowed users to play video games on new consoles and new hardware, Miyamoto explained. As long as the hardware remained unchanged, these games could continue to be played. However, the publishing rights to video games are complicated, and we have said that we would only add titles after securing the necessary rights. End quote. Scott, Nintendo doesn't want you to play anything backwards compatibility wise because they want to sell it to you all over again.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. That's been my complaint from within the Nintendo kind of ecosphere, is just that they don't like to make it easy for you.
No, they don't. And it's unfortunate because we see PlayStation, we see Xbox and how they're shifting. They're gearing towards play everything from all across your generations as much as possible, especially Xbox, right? Like they've really kind of hammered down on it heavily, ingraining all of their backwards compatibility options and available games. I think PlayStation has seen that and heard the rise in complaints from PlayStation fans and is starting to work towards catching that up. And we now have PlayStation 1 titles on the PlayStation platform, which is something we haven't seen in decades. So it's nice to see that kind of make its way around. But Nintendo is like, no, we're not going to play nice. We want that money. You keep buying Mario every year. Well, we're going to give you another updated version of it and you can buy it again. And it's just, at what point do they say, you know what, the gamers, you guys deserve this. You've only bought Mario 100,000 times all over again. And just give it to us, Scott.
The best was when they came out with Mario Maker. We're not even making the next one. You do it. An excellent idea, really. But
it is.
It just seemed a little cheap.
Well, it is, right? But then it's unfortunate as well. I think that's the other side of it. Nintendo has such a vast library for over the decades. Like, man, I grew up with Nintendo, and there's such a huge library there. People want to go back; they want to play those games, but Nintendo makes you purchase those games day in, day out, over and over and over again. And at what point you just
subscription services? That's even worse, in my opinion. They'll let you emulate some games off of a list, but only if you pay monthly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man, because this could have been, just at what point do they kind of, I don't feel like they're really putting the gamers first, where I start to feel where Xbox and PlayStation are more, it's all about building the community and growing and allowing them to have access to things we've already purchased in the past. But then when you take a look at GTA, dude, how many times we bought that game? Like, GTA 5 is just another one I keep purchasing, and I've now reached my breaking point. But at the same time, it's one of those, people don't stop when it comes to Nintendo. Nintendo has what Nintendo has, and they know what they have, and it's held there with a lot of value, and they value it to the point where you're going to purchase it again. And I wonder if gamers will reach a point where they just want to stop.
I'm waiting for vehicle really loud. I'm waiting for Ocarina of Time to come out again, because that's one that they bring out all the time, and I think I've bought that game probably 3 times now.
Right? It's just, will you buy it a 4th time? Will you buy it a 5th time? When we get the Switch Pro, Scott, are you going to buy it then, or whatever they call the next Switch? Because you got to think the next Switch is coming sooner than later.
Oh man, I've been feeling it on the horizon for years now, but I'm wondering if what annoyed me so much when I got the Switch was that it didn't take 3DS cartridges.
Right.
Now that makes sense, I suppose. There's no 3D component, there's no second screen, but there's a way you could have made it work.
Yeah.
That was such a drag to me. I'm hoping with the next Switch console, we'll have more backwards compatibility built in, a port for these games.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. With everything going such in a digital fashion now, you think it's gonna be easier than ever. Well, that's what Shigeru said right off the top, right? It is easier than ever. They're just not interested. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't care about the bottom line at the end of the day. And man, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's funny because right now I'm playing a game on my Switch for review because the game is good, but it's one of those things, man, otherwise I don't touch my Switch. I really don't touch the Switch at all anymore. It's just lacking, right? So
a couple releases a year for me. That's what gets me.
Yep, absolutely, right. They have those certain titles, and then this one just happened to be there. That's where we got the code for it, actually. And I'm having a good time, and I can't wait to share more about that one. So we'll see if anything comes down the line when it comes to Nintendo. But as of right now, you're gonna be buying the same old Mario over and over again for a while yet, Scott.
Yeah.
Let's get over to Chris Scullion over at VGC as he tells us all about Apple's AR VR headset will reportedly include a 3D video service and its own metaverse. The Reality branded headset will reportedly cost anywhere between, you ready for this, Scott? Well, you can see the title from the doc, but dude,
Yeah.
$2,000 to $3,000. Oh my! Wow.
You know, gas is getting expensive. You got to make that decision. Do you go all virtual?
It's just, yikes, dude, that's expensive, man. Like, that is, we thought when you jump into HTC, right, you can get in there for $1,500 to $2,000, but that is the top of the line at that 2,000 line. That is heavy, dude. That's a big investment. Granted, let's take a look where PlayStation just announced that we'll be spending $800 on their PSVR 2 headset, and then you still require the PS5 to play it. So that puts you around the $1,500 mark, give or take, right? By the time you add tax, this, that, and the other, whatever. So we're $1,500 for PlayStation's VR headset for the PSVR 2. That also does come along with the PS5, which then opens up a whole other vast of opportunities for gaming and things like that. When we get into Apple here, though, dude, is one headset and it's $2,000 to $3,000. It's like, wow.
That's still, you need the device. I don't believe this is a standalone. So I think you need, computer, or is it only a Mac that will run it? That would be
let's
quite
get
a bad decision market-wise, in my opinion. But
let's get into Chris's article. Apple's long reported mixed reality headset will include a 3D video service in its own metaverse. Apple reported Mark Gurman's latest newsletter from Bloomberg claims that the new job listing suggested the company is building a video service for the headset, which features 3D virtual reality video. German notes the Apple acquired Next VR in 2020, which provided high-quality 3D sports and music coverage in VR on Quest devices until its content was removed following the acquisition. We're taking you away from Meta, the competition. Another listing refers to the development of a 3D mixed reality world, which German... Scott, am I saying that right?
I don't know.
Okay.
If there was a second R, I think it would be Gurman.
Yeah, okay. Suggests that an indication that Apple is making its own take on the metaverse, a project on which Facebook parent company Meta has already spent more than $100 billion on. Wow. German was previously reported that Apple's new headset will likely be branded Reality, having trademarked the terms Reality Pro and Reality One in August. The headset will also reportedly cost between $2,000 and $3,000 because of its built-in Mac-level M2 chip, more than 10 cameras, and the highest resolution VR display yet produced. It's packing a punch.
Oh, for that price tag, it has to, though.
You think? Like, that is... Yeah, Brad goes, it will kill your wallet. Dude, absolutely. Yeah. That is a hefty price, man. If that's $3,000, I almost feel like they're going for a different market in that case, right? Like, if you're you're kind of out of the gamer's realm a little bit, I think, in that instance, because 2,000 is pushing it. A lot of people go, like, you really need to be into that VR landscape if you're going to spend $2,000, Scott. It's one thing to pick up, dude. The Quest 2 it's like $500, and it's wireless, and away you go. And it has a whole vast already installed library that's ready to go at your fingertips or controllers. And it's one of those things, dude. I love my Quest 2. Don't really remember last time I put it on. It's been a while since we've reviewed a game for the show, but it's one of those things, man. $3,000, like, you want to be on that thing every day if you're going to be in there for that kind of price.
Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of software does this just hook straight into Steam? What kind of video game side is there?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Apple tech at all.
Dude, it's all iOS, like web-based or app-based games. It's nothing like they don't have a console. They don't have the Meta platform for their Oculus or Meta Quest, whatever you want to call it now. It's I don't know. There's a huge investment going on here over at Apple. I've heard rumblings now for a very long time that it's coming around. Nobody knows as to when it'll be coming, but we'll see. It was reported earlier this month that Apple had hired the co-founders of a mixed reality mobile studio as it continues to work on its virtual reality and augmented reality plans. MobileGamer.biz reported that two of Plato's co-founders, Jack Schultz and Timo Arnell, are now employed by Apple, essentially closing the studio down. We will see. Time will tell. Is this an investment that interests you? We'd love to hear from you, so hit us up and let us know over on Twitter at the official ITG, and you can kind of let's talk about, is Apple's future worth investing in, and are you even interested, because now they're gearing towards the metaverse too. Like, that's the other side of it, right? And we saw a huge boom with metaverse talk, and then we've seen a lot of it really kind of taper off as gamers like, I don't want this.
I'm not certain that any of the talk really materialized into popularity. I haven't seen anything about metaverse, anything very promising at all, actually. I have questions. Is 2,000, is 3,000 too much? Where is the line for yourself? For myself, I had to get a whole new computer, so I factor that in. Plus, I went for an Oculus Rift, so that was not a small investment, but it was not $3,000.
Well, so yeah, man, like, it depends. Do I need to be tethered? Am I tethered to a PC, or is this wireless? Is this the Quest? Because the Quest can do it for $500. So if you start comparing, Scott, I think that's the other side of it. If you start comparing this device, that's great. The resolution is going to be the best one yet. That's fantastic. But I think at this point, honestly, invest in PSVR 2 just because of the library that's going to be coming over there. I know Horizon Call of the Mountain is going to be there. I know I'm going to enjoy that game. And then at the end of the day, I can just turn on my PS5 and play other games. Right? So there's a bigger library that'll take me out of VR, but also if I want to jump into VR, because we just saw the announcement too from PlayStation of some of the games that are coming. Dude, it's the PSVR 2 I'm actually kind of worried about, just due to the lack of content for the games that don't call to me there. There's a lot of them that look like they're the early days of VR, and I was just like, man, really? Where are the rest of these Call of the Mountain experiences? That's what I want to play. So all of a sudden now it's $800 for one game. What do they have to pull us in here for Apple that's going to be that, well, you can only get this here, right? Because that is Call of the Mountain. Horizon Call of the Mountain is going to be on one platform. It's not going to be anywhere else. So if you want to play that, you're going to have to sink that money into it. And is Apple going to be able to compete with something along that line? And what do they have? Brad says God of War VR, please. Dude, can you imagine? The Blades of Chaos, whipping those around. Oh goodness. Oh yes. That is, dude, that'd be, that'd be sick. I was playing God of War last night.
That'd be a little
exhausting. Working on my platinum. Wow, that's awesome. That is so cool. Oh yeah, that'd be wicked. I don't know if we'll ever see it. But dude, if they can pull off Horizon Call of the Mountain, you gotta think they can pull off God of War as well, right? Like, come on, let's do it. I want to see.
They could, but it becomes gameplay wise. Can you make that work very well?
Motion
sickness.
It
just be motion? Yeah. Oof.
Well, yeah. I think we need to know a lot more about what Apple is looking to invest in. Are they going towards gamers? Are they going more towards business? Because we know Meta has various options when it comes to their headsets as well, because they are somewhat focused on the business side of it. Now, I was watching an interview this morning with Phil Spencer, and he's talking about the metaverse and how people think you got to be in the VR headset. Nobody wants to put stuff on their head anymore. That's like, you don't want to and then sit there for hours while you're in a meeting. Like, who does that? I've talked to a couple of the PR contacts that we work with and stuff. They're like, I don't know anybody who does this. Like, nobody does this kind of a meeting. We're webcams, man. Like, that's your meeting these days.
There was a pandemic break where that may have worked really well, right at the kind of when everybody got sent home. Now you're working from remote. That would have been the time to open this floodgate, but it just didn't happen in time.
Well, even then, though, like, you're in your beside an avatar, but it's not even you. At least when you and I are talking, Scott, I can see you, right? Instead, what are you, a bug sitting beside me, or this giant robot, or a dragon, or like, who knows what you're going to dress up as and be as an avatar? So
I think we would have to do snake and riding.
Well, dude. So okay, when I start up a game, I go to character creation, and I always make a female character. How would you pull that off in a meeting, right? You'd be sitting beside me, and I'd be in a female setup. Like, it's like, it'd be just a weird instance.
Just
I don't know.
Name tags, I don't know.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah. So I don't know. It's curious to see where they're gearing towards. Are they going to have a games library that's going to want to call to gamers? And are they able to pull us away from stuff we're already playing on? That's, I think, one of the biggest problems that Stadia suffered from, was that they didn't have enough draw over there to the platform for exclusives. And that's why they're not around anymore. Like, they're now in January closing it completely down. They're giving out refunds right now on Stadia. So yeah, time will tell, Scott. But somebody who is making money right now is PUBG. Has the best quarter since 2019. Is it making a comeback? This is from Connor over at VG247. PUBG has had the most financial successful year since 2019, according to developer Crafton. The company announced $433 billion, which is actually $320 million US in revenue in quarter 3 of 2022, a staggering amount of money, reflecting a 2% increase in revenue and a 17% increase in profit quarter over quarter. Scott, that's pretty cool, man. PUBG still my battle royale to go to.
I wonder why it's coming back
I don't know.
more recently. Do you think that's in advance of Warzone 2, perhaps? People just want to get in, get that battle royale.
They want that military shooter that is maybe something a little bit more unique and not the struggle in Battlefield, right? They want that battle royale experience that isn't Fortnite, as an example, perhaps, right? I don't know. As for why this has happened, it's stated that the official press release featuring this info that the increased sales of PUBG Q3 thanks to the consistent inflow of new players since going free to play. That's a huge get. That free to play model is working. That's a big catch to let people come in, because for the longest time you had to buy PUBG. I bought it on PC and sucked so bad over on. Man, I sucked so bad at PC gaming. But they also have other stuff in the works as well, right? We got Callisto Protocol coming up on December 2nd. And then they're also working on the Bird That Drinks Tears game as well. So maybe some of that hype is coming around from other projects that they're working on, Scott.
Well, yeah, in advance of Callisto 2, people are getting excited just about the company doing well, too. So this is another thing that reflects that. I'm really fingers crossed for Calypso.
I know you are. December 2nd, that one's coming out. December is going to be a hot month. There's a lot going on in December. Again, we're in the midst of review season right now, and there's a lot dropping this week, so make sure you stick around to that. We got another game that's dropping for review today, another one tomorrow, and then another one on Thursday. That's just this week alone. So it's nonstop games over here for us right now. Busy times, but it's a ton of fun. We're having a great time. And then, we get into Callisto as well. Scott, you'll be busy doing that one, man. Not me.
Oh, that's for sure.
I'm out. But Scott, we do have a couple games out today, my friend. What do we have?
We have McPixel, and that's on Windows, Mac, Linux, Switch, and Xbox Series X.
That's McPixel 3, by the way, just to let everybody know.
Yes, McPixel 3. It looks so cool to me. Then we have the Oregon Trail, Switch and PC, and Flat Eye on the PC.
And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live on Twitch as well as YouTube, but if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services, TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.